Alrighty. Hello, everyone who is slowly but surely rolling in here. Excited to get going. Um, as people start rolling in here, just want to quickly call out. We did host a AI video contest. So we asked a couple of people to submit a product image as well as a video idea for that image. And we actually picked two winners. So we created a couple of videos using that product image and that video. We picked out the winners. Each will get a brand new set of AirPods. And so stick around for the end of the webinar and we'll show everyone those videos. Now, a couple more minutes. Yep, I see folks rolling in. Okay, seen quite a few more people roll in. So why don't we go ahead and get started here? Welcome everyone. Thank you all in advance for spending the next 45 minutes with us. This is the WizStudio Masterclass. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that way you guys can see all the goodies that we're going to share with you all. Okay, perfect. Welcome again, everyone. Again, thank you in advance for spending some time with us. This is the WizStudio Masterclass. We're going to talk about all things AI video today inside of WizStudio, and as the title shows, show you how to create some high quality video with minimal iterations. First, some quick background on myself. My name is John Morales. I'll be your AI product specialist for today's conversation. I spend a lot of my day-to-days helping people get their first photos and videos out the door. So if you leave today's conversation wanting to get started, or if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'm more than happy to help get you up and running. With me here today is Nidhi. Nidhi is part of the customer success team here at WizCommerce. Nidhi, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thanks so much, John. Hi, everyone. I'm Nidhi, and I run customer success here. One thing I want to let you know up front, every WizStudio customer really gets a CSM. That's me, a real person. We do not really point you to any AI bot when you have any questions. Right. Now, that being said, we all know that AI tools can feel a little overwhelming when you're starting out, right? So what we do for you is provide live support and hands-on training instead. So if you are already a customer and you want to get started on AI video, feel free to contact me and I can set up a session with you and walk through the specifics. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Nidhi. All right. All righty, folks. So as I begin to set the stage for today's conversation, I just want to start off by saying something that I tell everybody that I meet with on the day-to-day. It's that WizCommerce comes in a handful of different flavors. The bottom line for us is we build software for these businesses that operate within this wholesale, distribution, and manufacturing space. But for the sake of today's conversation, we're going to zero in on the video generation aspect of the WizStudio platform. Now here, just wanted to put together a quick slide and show everyone some of the brands that we're working with. These are all brands: Brown Jordan, Sagebrook, Uttermost, Furniture Mart, brands that I'm sure a lot of people here recognize that are using WizStudio and pushing content through it. Now here, everyone at WizCommerce, we pay quite close attention to the landscape, and that landscape has changed over the last handful of years. 5 years ago, video on a product was more like a nice to have. It was a nice extra on a product listing, but now Nowadays, buyers expect motion on every listing, every channel, every season. And so if you just look at the data here, Wise Owl, even they went to consumers and they found that 82% of marketers said they actually get a better return from video. So from our perspective, our point of view here at WizCommerce, it's that the demand itself has settled. It's the economics of it all that haven't quite caught up. Just think about a traditional shoot, for example. Traditional shoot means a studio, it means a model, it means a videographer, an editor, and it means you need to have time, turnaround time, that is. And so that's going to work great if you've got like 20 or 30 SKUs. But for a 5,000 SKU catalog, unfortunately, video just was never an option. So that's why this second number here really matters. This shows that 63% of marketers have already used AI video tools this year. Obviously, it's up from 51% last year. So again, the way we look at it, we're seeing in real time how quickly that this is becoming that new normal. Now, the other thing that we've noticed is that each platform that you're sending the video to is going to require something different out of you. Starting off with social media, Instagram and TikTok, for example. They're going to want that user-generated content, something that comes across natural and unpolished, because anything that is polished, it's going to come across like an ad and get scrolled right past. We prepared some examples ahead of time. This is the UGC.
I think, unfortunately, John, we cannot hear the audio. Would it be possible
Yes.
to quickly just check in? Thanks.
I am doing that right now. Nidhi, thank you. Here it is, back here. We'll start this video from the top.
Guys, holiday season is almost here and I can't wait to show you what I got from Amazon. I've been waiting for this parcel for so long. Okay, this is a cute reindeer mug, a tree mug. Look at this snowman. Guys, comment below for direct links.
I swear I might even have a couple of those mugs myself, no joke. Okay, moving on to Amazon and marketplaces. Now, with these kinds of settings, they're going to require something completely different than that UGC. Here, these platforms are going to want product close-ups, 360 spins, something that is going to spotlight every detail and even the dimensions of the products. That way, these buyers who are on these platforms, they know what they're purchasing before they submit that order. This is an example of those. Now, something I want to call out as I move over to the next slide, you might notice a slight degradation in the quality of the video. We think it's just because we're sharing it on the PowerPoint. So just to let everyone who's in the room now, I want to let you guys know, we're actually going to put together a Google folder that includes all the videos we're going to show you guys today. So that way, everyone who has attended the webinar can get access to that and go check out those videos for themselves. Next now is your site and PDP. And now for a lot of the conversations I've had, again, this is a completely different requirement from the other two videos that I showed you. These websites, in my experience, are going to require a lifestyle video, something where you're taking your product and you're putting it in a specific scene that matches the look and feel of your brand.
Made for life, ready for every splash.
I love that video. If I were to change one thing, I'd probably swap out the golden retriever with the German Shepherd, but that's just my personal opinion. I hope I'm not offending anybody here. But last, go ahead, Nidhi.
Yeah, I was like, you just like stole the words right out of my mind because I really enjoyed that dog video. It's so cute.
Cool. And then last but not least, If you want to put together something short and sweet, something that hooks one of your prospective buyers in the first couple of seconds of the video, you might want to put together a product ad.
Freshly balanced energy. Hydration meets calm, crafted for your day.
Awesome. So before I move on and I pass it over to you, Nidhi, I want to, if there's anything, any point rather that I want to hammer home from those videos, it's that with one platform, WizStudio, we're talking about 4 different videos, 4 different aspect ratios. And what I've been telling people is you multiply that by your catalog, that's the volume problem that WizStudio aims to solve for you. Nidhi?
I actually want to back up with what you said, John, because I do see it from a different angle as well. I remember like when we first like when teams came to us first, almost every conversation was just about images, right? So be it like catalog shots, your lifestyle images, or just getting like a full skew range photograph, right? Of course, without really booking a studio. Now we have the same teams asking us about with videos in nearly every conversation that we've had. So they are asking how to get the motion on their listing, what to really make for their Instagram or other socials, and what to really send to retailers or even the end buyers for that matter, and how they can actually put their product in motion. So when John says that this is like the new way products get marketed, honestly, that's not a forecast from our side. It's already something that people are writing in and asking for. Over
Thank
to
you,
you.
Nidhi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, now, of course, competition. Who doesn't love a good bit of competition? I do. I certainly do. And I want to be honest and transparent about it, right? Like, general purpose AI video tools are impressive. And look, if you want one hero video and you've got a week of time to iterate, then for certain, you can get something beautiful. Now, the problem that I call out to folks is that those platforms, they're built around the prompt. Every generation, honestly, you might risk it reinterpreting your product, reinterpreting the scene that you're trying to put that product in. And so a lot of the folks that come to me tell me that they've spent a lot more time prompt crafting more than anything else. Now compare that to WizStudio. WizStudio is going to start with a product photo compared to a description itself. So the whole idea is like we want to give everyone who is using the platform the flexibility to shape the idea using the script assistant or storyboarding before generating anything. Or let's say even you want to swap out or even use the same avatar in a video, so on and so forth. The whole idea is we want to make sure your 40th video looks like it came from the same brand that generated the first one. Now, on to the meat and potatoes of this webinar itself, the actual demo. Just switched my screens here. Everyone should see the home screen of WizStudio itself. So when logging in, this is what WizStudio is going to look like. Before I move on to the videos, I quickly just want to touch on what you're going to see here in this top rail when you log in for that first time. In case you're not familiar with the platform or WizStudio altogether, it's worth noting that the lifestyle generator, this was the birth of WizStudio. This is what we started with. And so that's where you can take a silo shot of a product, for example, or even multiple products, even. You can put them in whichever scenes that you want to put them in. Tons of flexibility there. And once again, if anyone wants to spend some time with me on that aspect, more than happy to. Another thing you'll see poking around WizStudio are all the different editing options at your disposal. So we want to be just as flexible as we are in terms of like putting these products in certain scenes. We want to be just as flexible on the editing side. We want to be that one-stop shop for you. Now, moving on to video generations. As you all already know, there's quite a few different videos that we can create for you, between lifestyle, product close-ups, advertisements, UGCs, 360 spins. We want to meet you guys where you're at, and most importantly, where your customers are at. So what I'm going to do here for today's demo is I'm just going to go in and I'm going to show you guys the workflow across each of these in creating one of these videos. The first place we're going to start here is an actual image of a product itself. So I just uploaded an initial shot of a console table. Now, what I always tell people is if you want to just to ensure a high quality, accurate video, we encourage people to use media references. The main reason why is because we really just want to protect the integrity of the product itself, especially when we're talking about like home decor or furniture. You're going to have certain details on your products, regardless really where it comes from, that you'll want to highlight in these videos. So we encourage people add some additional reference images to ensure that we're really calling out the right details of your product. Really want to call out what makes your product special. Now, on the media references, just a quick note, you can add other generated images, other assets that you or the team might have preloaded ahead of time. You can also add avatars or create one if you want to show a model in the video. And then, of course, you have the option to add audio to the video. Now, for the sake of this, I'm not going to add an avatar. I'm not going to add any sort of audio right now. I'm going to move on to writing the script. Now, I'm not a writer myself, so you can approach this in a couple of different ways. I would approach this using the script assistant. With the script assistant, this is where you can just brainstorm, for lack of a better term, with the script assistant in coming up with something shot by shot. Or if you know what you want, shot by shot, scene by scene, you're more than welcome to write that out from scratch over here on the left-hand side. Now, while the script assistant is putting the script together, I quickly want to call out what we put here in this brain dump of a prompt. It's not something generic like, hey, show me a product close-up of this console table. No, I want to call out specific things in the video. For example, I want multiple zoom ups of a wooden cabinet. Let's focus on the finish, the wooden texture of the product. Let's even call out certain use cases, such as a woman's hand opening up one of the panels on the console table. The main point I want to get across here is that you can, for sure, just put something generic. That's completely fine. But if, again, you want that high quality production grade AI videos, then the more specific you are, the better. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click this right here. Script is ready for review. And then you see here the script assistant has filled in our video shot by shot. Not only can you see what is going to be described in the video, but also the voiceovers themselves. You can see here, as I'm even reviewing this, that you can edit the shots themselves too. Like you can add details, you can remove certain details. The world is your oyster here. Now, while we pull up a storyboard, the team is going to pull up a poll. Really would love to hear from you guys, and just in terms of what your experience has been generating AI videos and really what some of your main challenges are. Give this just a few seconds before moving on here. Okay, we will make sure we have some time later to touch on some of these answers. Now, moving back to the storyboard itself, what I tell people is like this is going to be the cheapest way of identifying any sort of issues with your video before generating anything. Nidhi, while this finishes generating, would you mind just, we would love to hear from your perspective. Why should people always use the storyboard?
Mm-hmm. So before I get into the answer, I just want to let everyone know here today that whatever tips and tricks that I'm going to be sharing is applicable across AI, platforms, not just for WizStudio, right? Getting back to your question, John, now I've seen, storyboard actually is the most skipped feature that we see for videos. And I really wish that, people don't skip this. Reason being, like you mentioned, that this is like the cheapest way to get it, right? So this is actually your safety net before you really commit to a video. So here's the thing. A lot of users, jump straight into generating it, and they get something that's quite not right, and then they hit regenerate again, which again, if they feel that it's not right, they might just get a little frustrated, right? And also keep in mind that each generation costs you some credit, right? So storyboard is where you can definitely break that cycle overall. It shows you like a preview of how your video is really going to play out. Now, this can be in terms of the angles, in terms of the pacing, right? So as you can see in the storyboard that John, generated right now, you do see like a close up. In the first shot, it has a close up of the white, textured cabinet, right? So we kind of like make sure that everything is zoomed in from the wood crane to how you really want, the model to walk in, and how you would really want the final product to look, right? So based on what John scripted earlier, it kind of, fits perfectly, right? So my advice here is always going to be that check your storyboard first. And in case if you see that something's off, feel free to again revise it, because it really doesn't cost you any credits, right? So you don't really have to start over. All you have to do is just update your revisions in the shots that John, earlier mentioned, and then you can of course make sure that you hit generate. So this is how you can create a video with less iteration altogether.
Thanks, Nidhi. Yeah, just to piggyback on what she said, so everyone here can see it in practice. Let's say there are some things I want to change in any of these shots. Again, you're more than welcome to add, remove things, do whatever you want to them. And then it's just as simple as regenerating that storyboard. Again, really want to hammer this home. This is the cheapest way to identify any issues before generating anything. Because once you go down here, it's time to generate the video. Now, down here, you can play around with the aspect ratios, depending on where this image is going, or excuse me, the video is going. You can also play around with the duration of the video. The duration is actually going to change, the credits you use are going to change based on the duration that you choose. And then, of course, the resolution of the video. Now, what I'm going to do here, everyone, I'm actually just going to take a step back, and we are going to go and review a handful of videos that the team went and created for you all ahead of time. The first one we're going to start with is this lifestyle video using that console table I just walked each of you through. Lovely, lovely. Now, Nidhi, I know, lifestyle videos. It's like probably our most popular or one of our most used formats. I'd be curious to hear from your perspective, what generally goes wrong when people are creating their own lifestyle videos, and based on your experience, like how have you helped people solve those kinds of issues?
Mm-hmm. So a couple of things that actually come to my mind is one, props floating next to the product instead of really being like on a surface. So it does hallucinate a little. And I think second would be maybe, the product doesn't really come out in the right size, right? So I'm going to go ahead and help you out with these. So first with the props, obviously floating next to the product, right? So this usually traces back to two things. One, your reference media, and two is the specific prompting. Now, in your reference image, as you can see in the slide, right? In your reference image shows, the prop is really floating or it's isolating, right? As seen in image 1 on the slide. So the tool really doesn't know what resting, looks like. So it kind of repeats itself. Now, how you can really solve this is in the prompt, right? So you can write use @reference image 2, and you can be very specific that in this case, for example, I want the candle in the middle of the table, right? So one thing I want to let you know is, in case if you do not have a reference image, that's really not a problem. We do have our lifestyle, image generator that John mentioned earlier, and you can definitely, use that to generate one. Without really downloading it, this reference image can be uploaded directly to the video as well, right? So this is how you can definitely make sure that it's not really floating and doesn't hallucinate a lot. The second thing that I did mention was the exact size, right? Now, this is another, pain point for videos, and this shows up in most with products where, I've seen that the exact scale really matters. So if your prompt or your reference image doesn't really give the tool a clear size, then it would use its own imagination, of course, to get the output. I mean, it's AI, right? I think one thing that does come to my mind right now is, I remember a client where, we helped with the bookends. So what happened initially is, the end product, it kind of sized up like a paper bag, which really looked weird. So it, of course, I guess is, unless you're really specific with it, right? So what I recommend is, step one, you give reference images, and step two is put the real dimensions in the prompt. So you make sure that the bookends are, in this case, maybe 5 inches tall and 4 inches wide. And then you can just say similar to at reference image, as you can see on the screen. So this would really help you scale to the appropriate size that you're looking for. And it really wouldn't, it would really kind of get you the right output that you desire. So hope this was helpful, John.
Appreciate you, Nidhi. So what I'm going to do, everyone, I'm going to switch back to the platform itself. Again, want to walk through and make sure you get a good look at some of these other options. And so the next video I'm going to show is another example of one of those UGC videos.
If your moisturizer just sits on your skin, you need to try this. It's lightweight, melts into my skin, and gives me that healthy glow without feeling greasy. My skin feels instantly softer, smoother, and looks naturally radiant. Honestly, this has become my everyday skincare essential.
Now, something I'm just thinking about when it comes to these UGC videos, like I know just like brands want to protect the integrity of the products, they also want to protect the integrity of the brand. So with these UGC videos, they're going to want consistency across the whole campaign. Nidhi, another thing I would love to hear from your perspective is, how would somebody ensure that kind of brand consistency across each video?
Mm-hmm. That's actually a very good question, John. So if you're posting these videos on social medias or any other advertisement, platforms, so it's always a good practice to have a consistency across your social media content, right? So you can do so by, of course, maybe reusing, the same avatar. And your avatar, I really mean like an AI model, right? And also use like the same audio across every video so that your client base starts recognizing you towards that, and in turn ensures, a brand consistency altogether. So on WizStudio, you do have an option, of course, using, the ones that we already have created for you, or feel free to, of course, create your own and you continue using the same. So I think this is one of the ways that brands can really ensure their consistency using UGC.
Gotcha. Now, what about where this generally breaks for customers?
Right. So something I think do see often in is customers trying to fit in everything that they want, that they want to really say in the video in like one voiceover. If the script, would naturally, let's say, be about 20 seconds to speak, right? But the video that we actually have is only about 15 seconds. Now the tool kind of speeds up the audio to kind of make it fit. Now, this, when you play back, it kind of goes into like a 1.5x speed, which kind of makes the whole video feel very rushed and not something that we would want to look forward to, right? So the whole way that we can fix this isn't just to cut content. It's more about, splitting it, right? Now, everything not everything has to be, said out loud, of course. The most important keywords or the details that you want to highlight can go on screen as text. So there's something that you can put on the prompts, and the rest can actually stay in the voiceover. So my advice, honestly, here would be that before you really want to write your voiceover or decide what really needs to be heard versus what really needs to be seen, I think this is something that you need to pre-decide, and then you split it accordingly, and you keep, a short video, making it feel calm rather than, a little cramped.
Gotcha. Appreciate the context, Nidhi, as always.
Thanks, John.
Now, moving on to the product close-up video. Now, I'm just thinking this just came to my mind. I can't be the only person who thought of Rose's diamond necklace, was it, from Titanic when I saw this? I'm just seeing this now. That's the first thing that weirdly came to mind. I can't be the only one that thought of that. But anyways, nonetheless, moving on here. Nidhi, I know these product close-ups are a bit more of like your specialty, and I know these close-ups generate probably the most questions from people. I know one of the questions that people ask quite a bit are why a product might look flat or smoothed over when the camera zooms in. Why would that happen?
So this usually happens, when the reference is not really aligned. So what I would really say is that the reference images is how the tool really learns the details, right? So now if there is no close up of the reference that you would want to, it's really got nothing to, work with. Correct. So if you do give it a close up in terms of, let's say, in this case, how beautiful the blue diamond really looks, you know what I mean? So kind of put in, the zoom in of how the diamonds would really look like, or in other cases, maybe how the furniture, wood grain would look like. So reference images is something that I would always recommend people to put in, and as close as you can get to the texture, a little high resolution, that's going to really help you, not get like a flat or smooth over when the camera zooms in.
Right. So more reference images, better, the more reference images that show different angles, the better, basically.
That's correct. Yeah.
Got it. Now, what about can somebody control which details of the product gets that kind of close-up treatment?
100%, yes. So on top of the reference images, this is something that you can use always by adding in the prompt, right? You can direct it through the script altogether, and all you can add, is just like a one-liner where you say close up on the blue diamond, or case, or you can just say close up on the texture of the cushion of the chair, for example, right? So having it really specified is going to help you, get the most close-up treatment. And of course, reference images always help. So this is how you can tell the tool exactly where you want to close up. You can put it in your shots, whichever shots that you of course want, or you can actually put it in across all the shots in order to control how it would be.
Right. Got it. Okay. Now, last two formats here, everyone. Next one will be the product ad.
The pieces we reach for every day, quietly becoming part of us. Collected over moments, chosen for meaning, worn with intention. Details worth noticing, made to be worn, made to be yours.
All righty. And then the last one, everyone, will be the 360 spin videos. Now, before I open these up, we actually created two different types because based on more of the conversations that we've been having, like these 360 spin videos oftentimes have different use cases depending on where these ones are going. So, for example, we've noticed some people might want to create 360 spins for social media, and then 360 spins that are a bit more relaxed and calm for the website and a product listing on the website. So we created one for each kind of use case. this is let's call it the social media example.
Yeah. Before you hit play, John, can I just,
Sure.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of remind everyone to, check the links in our chat where you can, schedule a demo and of course sign up as well. So these are the links that we provided in the chat. So feel free to look at it and then, sign up.
Thanks, Nidhi.
Don't just wear it, flip it.
Alrighty. Now this next one, like I said, might be more fit for that kind of product listing on one of your websites. As you can all see, like I said before, we want to, more than anything else, protect the integrity of these products, especially on the 360 spins. Now, Nidhi, I want to come back to you on this one because with some of the conversations that I have on a day-to-day basis, especially with regards to the 360 spins, this is a question I get a lot, is that sometimes with these 360 spins, it might show gaps or maybe like a different image partway through. How can someone avoid that altogether or just generate a cleaner 360 spin?
That's actually a very good question, John. I'm so glad you brought it up. So I want to show this as an example of a client who recently came to us for assistance, right? John, if you could go to the slide as well. Thank you so much. So as you can see on the screen, the bag, hallucinated a little. So it's added like 2 extra straps altogether and not just keeping it as 2, right? So honestly, this usually is like a reference set problem that we've seen. So this happens, when users really are missing angles or they haven't really provided like specific, shots for the 360, right? So
yeah.
What I do recommend is, of course, you make sure that you provide high resolution reference shots of every angle. So this can be, sides of the product, it can be back and front of it, it can even be like a flat lay or at the bottom as well, right? So this is something that is very important for everyone to really use and to really provide so that they actually get the right texture and get the right spin as well, right? So if you do skip this altogether, AI being AI, it's actually going to just fill in the gap itself. And that's exactly when you do see, there are gaps or, different images just pathway, as we could see here.
Yeah. So speaking of that spin, a bit of a curveball for you. Can somebody control that spin or the number of rotations or the direction that the spin goes?
Yes, this can be possible, definitely. You can actually like prompt it in each shot or, every shot that you would want this. So you can definitely choose the direction it kind of spins. So you can go left, right, slow, fast, however you do want it. So that's something, where prompting correctly really helps in each shot. So calling it out there, would be the best. Otherwise, again, if you're very vague, it's just going to continue to do what it knows best.
Yeah. So just to be clear, and this goes back to somewhat of what I said earlier. It's like we want to protect the integrity of the products. So WizStudio is always going to refer to that product image first. And I think, Nidhi, that's why you doubled down on it a few times. The importance of adding that additional media, different angles, different finishes, or particular details inside the products themselves.
Yeah.
And then the prompts are more so, how do I say this? Like the descriptions of what is like more so how the video itself is shot. Is that like a better way to say it?
Yes, I think that's a better way to say it. Yes. So this is how, shots, you can, of course, just direct your entire script in terms of how you want to see the flow of the entire 360. And like I said, providing the angles for each of it really, really plays well because we've seen it really work well. And as you can see on the screen for the example that I showed, right? Like we didn't really have the user put in the reference, and that's why we could see a lot of hallucination. So this is one of the best ways to avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. So everybody here can put their own Christopher Nolan director hat on. It's good to know. It's good to know. Okay, cool. Moving on here. I said before that the demo was the meat and potatoes of today's conversation, and I guess how everyone else here views it, I think the pricing and the billing piece of the conversation should probably be dubbed the dessert of it all. So I'm going to move over back to the platform. I want everyone to know here too, like once you create an account, this is all viewable from your own account. So this is a completely self-serve experience. I'm just here to provide you all the information at a high level, what comes or what are the caveats with each of these plans. So just like with everything inside of WizStudio and WizCommerce as a whole, we try to be as flexible as possible. We don't want it to be hard to do business with. And so with these monthly plans, you can see here, you get a certain allotment of credits per month. The main thing that I want to call out here is that these credits, unused rather, I should say, any unused credits are going to roll over month after month as long as that subscription is active. Once you all log in, you'll be able to see here too what comes with each of those plans. On the other side, annually, of course, you're saving a bit more on that cost per credit. And again, you can come in here and see what comes with this plan itself. Now, something I want to say, just compared to some other solutions out there, in case anyone else here is also familiar with all the other solutions, it's that with WizStudio, you're going to get an unlimited amount of generations and an unlimited amount of edits. We tell folks, like, you're not paying, you're not using one of your credits until there's an output, excuse me, that you're actually satisfied with. Now, moving back to the slide, and I think I was teasing a little bit, but this is why I referred to it as a bit of a dessert, is because for everyone who's attending the webinar today, you're going to get a couple of different offers. If you have never purchased WizStudio, if you've never logged in, if you've never used it, then you're going to get 10% off your first purchase across all of the plans. Now, I know we have some people here who are already customers or already active users of the platform. For you guys, you're going to get 15 free AI videos. We just wanted to make sure everyone who attended, customer or non-customer, got something out of coming and spending some time with us. Now, on to the fun part. Earlier in the beginning of the webinar, I'd called out that we held a product video competition. Each of these people submitted a product video as well as their own vision for what they wanted in this video. We picked out 2 winners. Each of them get a pair of AirPods, and we also created that video for them. This is going to be that first video. Alrighty. Very, very cool. Now moving on to the next one. Congrats, Christy. Next one is Matt Dutton. Congratulations, Matt. Personally, I'm a fan of this one. I'm a nerd for all things space, so excited to see this one as well.
Create the perfect immersive play space for your little one with Liberty House Toys Kids Space Play Tent.
That's got to be what my son thinks every time he steps into. There's one that he has that looks pretty similarly to that one. Alrighty, well, we are just about at time here. I figured since I pulled it up and as we wrap up, I figured everyone should know what's on the roadmap and what's coming. The main thing that I want to call out on this screen is a feature that people have asked for quite a bit now at this point, and it's the ability to edit the videos. So rather than having to regenerate a video that you didn't like all over, much like the experience you get within the lifestyle generator, you'll now be able to go into the videos and correct small hallucinations or product changes in those as well. You'll also be able to get longer videos, and then of course provide reference videos or create similar videos for all of your other products. Now, this is what I had for everyone today. I want to say again, thank you all for joining. This was the first time I've hosted one of these webinars, and it's been quite a bit of a blast getting ready for this and hosting this today. So really hope anybody or any of you who might be curious or want to learn more or want to move forward, reach out to me directly. And like I said in the beginning, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer whatever questions you've got. Any questions I unfortunately couldn't answer today, reach out to me directly again, and I'm more than happy to get those answered and get you all set up and running.
Right. Before we actually end, John, I think there are a few questions on the chat about free AI video credits. So could you please address them as well?
Free AI video credits?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think these are the 15, credits that everyone would get. Right?
Oh, yes. Okay, sorry, I was a little confused. Yeah, so those 15 credits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, those 15 credits. So what we'll do, at least the way I understood it, so anyone keep me honest here, is we're going to add those credits to the account, and just it's extra credits that you didn't pay for. You can go ahead and use those credits to create your own videos, basically, yeah, for free. Anything else, Nidhi?
No, I think, we've all got it covered so far. Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Yeah, any other questions? Like I said, if we didn't get to them today or if they weren't answered with the demo, I've said it a bunch already. I'll say it one more time. Reach out to me directly, reach out to Nidhi even, and we're more than happy to help anyone out. So pleasure meeting you all virtually at least, and look forward to seeing you at the next webinar.
Hope everyone
Cheers.
had a good time. Cheers. Bye-bye.